Well, g'day and welcome to Driveway Time, the coronavirus quarantine version of Drive Time. And just for a little bit of Friday fun. But the serious note of business, we all know the business is going through an interesting time right now. And there's three types of businesses that I'm seeing out there right now. The first is those like our restaurant, which is just shut. We're shuttered. We don't have any income coming in. We got nothing. All we can do is get ready for reopening. That's literally all we can do in that business. And, then you've got the other businesses that, like several of mine, like our food truck business, in fact, our cleaning business, the cleaning business in the third category, food truck business, where we've had to pivot and we've had to change the strategy in order to stay alive as a business, basically, in order to keep paying the wages of our staff, in order to keep doing anything, we've had to change basically the whole business model, and go from the high-priced quality end foods to, bulk family foods and all sorts of things. So first category of those who are just shut, which is a lot of retail and hospitality style businesses, service-oriented businesses where there's human interaction as well. Second is that group like mine where there's a pivot strategy. You've had to change what you're doing and stuff, and we'll talk more about that group in a minute. And then the third group is the group that are just on boom right now. They're just an essential service, and they're doing nothing other than making every single piece of day work. And so they've got the challenge, like our cleaning company, where we've pivoted to the full-on sterilization cleaning, which is one of the things we've done forever, but now it's in massive demand. In that business, our biggest challenge is recruiting, training, because you got to virtual recruit, virtual train. Everything's got to be done virtual. So it's a real interesting strategy that we have to look at. So if you're in that middle category, the category that has to pivot, I want to talk to you about a few different examples of companies that have pivoted. And hopefully by looking at that, thanks for typing in where you're at, gang. Hopefully you're doing well, but please type in where you're at. And if I'm assuming most of you are on lockdown or quarantine of some sort, thanks for typing that in. So in the pivot group, there's the group that has had to find something they can do or can sell right now. And so when you sit down and you start thinking about what it is that, you have to pivot to, what you have to pivot to is something that people are buying right now. So for example, one of our clients down in Albuquerque, I was just talking yesterday with their coach, and they're a manufacturing company, and they're a manufacturer of plastic stuff. And so here we are sitting down thinking about, okay, you're a manufacturer of plastic things. What is it that's needed right now? And so they've had to pivot and go to how they can make face masks and that are washable. And they've literally patented overnight a new strategy of face masks that can be used and rewashed and all sorts of stuff. And now, when you think about it, you think, that seems pretty simple. But no, because they're a manufacturer of totally different plastic products, and they've had to retool and rechange in a week to be able to get that sort of stuff. We sit here and we start thinking about all of the crazy, dumb ideas that you've ever had in business, and right now most of them seem pretty damn good, because it's one of those things that we just don't know how long this is going to last. Now, my best guess is 90 days. That's why I've said to everyone, you've got to get a 90-day plan to survive, and then you've got to get a plan to start thriving as you come out of it, type thing. By the way, if you haven't done my free 10-day training on how to survive and thrive this thing, please go and do my 10-day training on this. It's free. I filmed it the other day just for everybody, for you to go and do it. And if you can, share it with everybody. It's free. It's online. I'll make sure one of the team puts a link on here for you. But essentially, that whole pivot is not just in the pivot of the product or the service. The pivot is the sales have to be different. The marketing has to be different. We have to change pretty much everything if we're in that middle category, okay? The middle category is the one that I've been working with the most, because if you're in that, I've got to change to survive, then ultimately the work you do. Now, if I can deal with a couple of things here. Mentally, that's the hardest category to be in. The fully shut down category, mentally, you just got to prepare for reopening. There's nothing else you can do once you get over that shock. The middle category is a category that is working much harder, much more hours and are in danger of burnout, in danger of mentally struggling through this thing. So if you are in that category, please reach out. Please reach out to me, to one of my coaches, to anybody, and get someone helping and chatting with you. Because even just talking with people, it makes a big difference. I know at Action Coach, we get our clients together in daily huddles if they want to join in the daily huddle. And a lot of them are coming in just for a bit of a boost, just for a bit of a pick-me-up. If you're in that phase, talk to your local Action Coach about getting that pick-me-up and just having those conversations. I think it's very important. You know, that middle group, what you've got to be thinking is, what are people buying right now that I can sell? And that's basically what we have to be thinking. What are they buying right now that I can sell? And it can be anything, anywhere. If you've just got to be thinking that way. And a lot of the time you got to think very virtual in what you're doing. You know, I saw the T-shirt company that pivoted and is now doing T-shirts that, 2020 sucks and a class of coronavirus 19 or class of COVID-19 type thing. And so they're doing a lot of different things. I see, people are pivoting in real life. I know, as my daughter celebrated her getting into college, and everyone did a drive-by and honked their horns and held out signs instead of coming to a party for it. And we've just got to pivot. And it's 90 days. It's not forever. It's 90 days. We have to pivot. And that's what it's going to be. All of the experts are saying around 90 days. Now, it could go longer. It could go shorter. I don't know. I'm not the genius of that stuff. Business-wise, though, I think that's the thing. Now, if you're in that third group, and if you're not in that third group, which is the ones that are booming right now, first thing you got to look at is, who are the groups that are booming? The box manufacturers, the distribution companies, the trucking companies, all of these things. And I've seen some companies where literally they had vans. One of our clients, they had vans for their particular business. They can't be doing it right now, so they've gone into the delivery business. They just become a delivery company. And it's like, that's what they had to do to survive this thing and keep their staff on payroll. And I'm working real hard in all of our companies to make sure we keep all of our staff on payroll. And we don't want to fire anybody during this time. It's tough enough time to survive without, getting rid of people type thing. So in that third group, you've got to be looking at recruiting and changing up your recruiting strategies and changing up how you recruit, hire, train, induct people. And it's all got to be done virtually. And the crazy thing is, it's got to be done virtually in an environment where the labor laws are changing every day. And it's like, oh my God, what do we got to do here? What do we got to do there? Yes, it's going to be tough times. Yes, we're going to have to knuckle down. But the thing is this. If we know that we can put a plan together to get through 90 days, if you can put a plan together to get through 90 days, then and come out of this thing thinking, I'm going to come out of this stronger than I went into it. I'm going to come out of this with a better business than I went into it. That's sort of the mentality that I think everyone's got to be approaching this with. We as business owners will do great if we stay strong and stay focused. If you haven't done my 10-day training on the Survive and Thrive, please jump on it. Please go and do that training. Please share it with every business owner you know. I want to make sure every business owner in the world. And by the way, if you know any heads of chambers of commerce or any of that, have them share it as well. We want this shared with millions of business owners. We want everyone to survive this thing, because here's the thinking behind it. If every business survives, then we all get back to a good economy faster. If every business goes through this thing. If we don't, if we start losing lots of companies, then we, as a group, we all struggle. So as business owners, we got to come together, support each other right now, make sure that every business owner survives this thing. Do business with the smaller businesses if you can. Do whatever you can do. Keep your staff on if you can. Listen, I'm working through this thing with y'all. I hope that you enjoyed my first driveway time. I don't know what else to do these days other than try and do that sort of stuff. I'm not getting out, but take care, stay safe, stay healthy. I'll talk to you again soon. Make sure you keep doing that training, keep learning, and survive and thrive through this thing. Get your 90-day plan of survival done.